Hey, this is Mike with Montrose. Hey, if you just purchased one of these Massey Ferguson GC subcompact tractors, you've made a great investment. In this video, we're going to go over the basic maintenance on these tractors. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing on maintaining a tractor is how do you get into the engine? Well, real simple on this one. The hood release is right here in the front of the tractor, and you push it forward, pull the hood, and it comes forward. Now, it'll go all the way forward here. If you're wanting to keep it a little closer, there's a little latch right there that you can hook on to keep it forward, but for the camera purposes, we're going to leave that hood all the way forward, and it gives you great access to the engine compartment. Now, I'm going to address one thing real quickly. You're saying, what in the world is a radiator doing in the back of the tractor? Well, it's there for two really good reasons. You're used to seeing the radiators here in cars, and any vehicle that's going down the road at speed is going to get more airflow, but on a tractor it really doesn't matter. You're getting your airflow not by movement, but by the fan. So there's a reason we have the radiator in the back. Two good reasons. The first one is it gives us unbelievable visibility, not having that radiator in the front. Have you noticed how much of your loader bucket you can see? And that's really important, especially if you're a new operator to a tractor, being able to see that loader bucket. But the main thing about that radiator being in the back, and I know it sounds crazy, but the dirt comes in up here, and you want to keep your radiator clean. So if the radiator's in the back and the air is moving this way, the fan is pulling it through, it is pulling clean air in here and blowing air forward. And you've got a mesh screen in the front, so if you're in dusty, dirty conditions, you're actually blowing the dirt away from the engine. It makes a gob of sense. Now, on a car it doesn't make sense because you need that extra cooling of your ground speed. On a tractor, that absolutely doesn't matter. So those are the two reasons the radiator's in the back, and right behind the radiator where the cool air comes through is the battery, which is a great place for that to be. And while we're there, your fuses are right here where they're real easy to get to. Now, your dipstick, let's see, is a little yellow knob. I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, right there on the camera, with the camera. If you're sitting on the tractor seat on the right side, there's your dipstick. A little yellow knob. The hood does have to be open to get to the dipstick. Your radiator overflow is right there. Now, one thing I want to show you is a couple of things on the radiator and the air filter. And we're going to get to the other side of the tractor to do that. Okay, to get the maximum life out of your engine, if you'll change oil at regular intervals as dictated in the owner's manual, that's one thing. And the other thing that's really important is air. The way a lot of diesel engines fail is they get bad air, dirty air into the engine, and we don't want that to happen. And there's a really slick system on this Massey for checking your air filter, and you need to do it often. Open the hood. Right here is the hose where the air comes into the engine, and it's in front of the radiator, so it gets clean air, and clean air and cool air. And there's a strap that goes around this air filter right here. That strap right there is important, and there's a little tab on it that you pull it down with to release it, and you want that tab to go to the outside. So once that strap is off, put that aside, and then you can get in here and get to your air filter. Now, this air filter has a burp tube on it. If you've been in dusty conditions, a lot of times if you'll just squeeze that, that'll let the dirt out. But you need to check it often. And to check it, there's two clips here that you can release, real easy, and then pull the end off of it. And then here's your air filter, and it just screws out. And they got good, heavy air filters on them. Now, if you're in dusty conditions, you'll want to take that out fairly often and just stomp it on just tap it on the ground, and that'll let the dust fall out of it. When you can't see daylight through it anymore, it's time to replace it. But they're real easy to maintain. And again, you just screw that in there. This has a little sign on it that says top. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but that goes right on the top of that right there. Now, while you've got this open, here's another thing. In front of the radiator is a screen. And if you've got any debris coming in, it's going to catch in that screen, and you can take that to the hydrant and just blow that out, or use compressed air and blow it out. But while you've got that up, it's a good time to check that and make sure that's open. All right, so we've got our filter back in. We're going to push our the top end, and sometimes these clips get in the wrong place. Yeah, there we go. And pull them back and make sure they're seated so you're getting clean air into the engine. Put it back down. We're going to go back to our clip. It goes right there and comes around and locks right there, so that's clipped into place. Now this hose here, in order for the hood to close, the hose has kind of got to be between the battery and the radiator, and then this little rubber clip has to come around and seat in that little track down below. And then when you close the hood, it goes all the way down and locks. Now while we're here, I didn't show before the oil filter, and I'm going to do that right now. The oil filter is on the left side of the engine if you're in the seat, and it's right there. And to fill oil, you've got the oil fill right there on top of the valve covers, on top of the valve cover. And the muffler's in the front, so be careful whenever you're working around the engine. It's hot. Okay, the only other thing I want to show you in the back here, your hydraulic sight plug. Your hydraulic oil has a sight plug right there that tells you if the tractor has hydraulic oil. And then to fill the hydraulic oil, there's a filler tube right there. And right here is the cap for it. It's under the back seat. All right, that's kind of the basics of these little tractors. They're great little tractors. Really, really easy to maintain, and you can get a lot of work out of one of these.